Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.
Bored with your boring cardio? Stop pedaling that snooze cycle to Nowheresville and try some cardio that's actually fun. Supernatural Fitness, available on MetaQuest. Isn't that right, Jane Fonda?
Cardio will never be boring again.
Sweat to the beat of thousands of chart-topping songs inside stunning virtual landscapes.
Bet your stationary bike can't do that.
Visit GetSupernatural.com and join the next fitness revolution. Supernatural VR Fitness, only on MetaQuest. Rated Teen for Teen.
You're wrong, Early.
I'm not wrong, Dumpling. I will shoot your brother dead if you don't...
about River. River's not on the ship. They didn't want her here, but she couldn't make herself leave. So she melted. Melted away. They didn't know she could do that, but she did.
I'm not sure I take your meaning there.
I'm not on the ship. I'm in the ship. I am the ship.
River.
River's gone.
Then who exactly are we talking to?
You're talking to Serenity. And Early? Serenity is very unhappy.
Hello, everyone out there in podcast listening land. Welcome to another episode of Boys Watching Firefly. We're just two boys watching every episode of Firefly for the first time, giving our review, our reactions. We're your hosts. I am Joe Welke.
I am Vance.
Today we're talking the season finale, season 1, episode 14, titled Objects in Space, directed by Joss Whedon, written by Joss Whedon. Original air date, December 13th, 2002, to an audience of 4.08 million people. And before we start the episode, everybody, it's been a long time coming. We got some shout-outs. Shout-out. We got an Apple Podcast shout-out for Elizabeth E.K. Gave us a 5-star rating and review. Really appreciate that, Elizabeth E.K. We also got some email shout-outs. Very lovely emails coming in from Marv, who, that's not their real name, but it's easier to pronounce than their real name. So Marv, shout out you. And also Jess giving us a whole breakdown of the Buffy potential reboot. Maybe we have a writing partner, me, Vance, and Jess going to start this shit up.
Yeah, some interesting stuff in that reboot package. Some stuff I don't know if the fans would love, but some stuff that fans would like. And Marv, shout out for recommending us to Merv Smith, an Angel writer. Mm-hmm. Recommended us to that's the podcast to them. Hopefully, if they listen, they don't. They listen to the good episodes of the podcast.
Yeah. Hopefully they like that.
Hopefully they know we like this show.
Yeah. Do it.
And Elizabeth E.K. has a great their review mentions, it really actually explains how our podcast fits in the Buffyverse, in the Buffy world of content. And they compared it to a Big Bang Theory episode that I have not seen, but it sounds apt because they say listening to us is like listening to the ladies on the Big Bang Theory explain the logic of Thor's hammer. And I'm like, you know what? I didn't see that scene, but I can figure it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can figure where that goes.
Yeah. And that is our approach to, I think that's what we aim to do. Like a different perspective on a show that people have a lot of thoughts on.
Absolutely. Also check out our Patreon. We are doing our series recap of Angel this week, talking about the entire shebang of Angel the series. Also be on the lookout for Dr. Horrible sing-along blog on Boys Watching Movies. That should be coming out soon. Join our Discord. Got a lot of fun stuff going on in Discord, including our lyrics of the week with the Firefly song. Now, we had 2 entries this week. And boy, oh boy. Tofu Lover. I love what you did. Just a bit too long, my friend.
Yeah.
I saw that humongous block of text. I was like, man, Tofu Lover must really love my fucking singing voice.
The mood hit, you know. Speaking of Discord, though, I want to give a shout out to everyone who reached out to us about the fires in LA. The boys are doing well. The boys are doing fine. And we want to give a shout out to the LA residents who aren't doing as well, and hope that we bounce back. Hope that it bounces back quick, and reach out to your friends, your neighbors, check on people, just make sure everyone's doing fine. But the boys are good. The boys are good. The boys are good. So yeah,
so far so good. I got a cardboard window. Had some glass shattered all over my apartment, but that's about the extent of what I was dealing with.
Yeah, we just had a power outage for like 2.5 days for us. So yeah, we dodged the fires in our neighborhoods. So, but some people weren't so lucky. So far, yeah, because it's still going on. It's still going on. It feels like it's ending, but it's not. Especially for me, the craziest part was that not having power and access to the internet and stuff. I wasn't seeing what everyone else was seeing around the country and around the world. So I kept just getting messages and texts and people like, "What, are you okay?" And it just, I was kind of in the dark for most of it.
Back home in Baltimore, and like my family's all talking to me about it, and they're like, "Oh, what do you think? Are you safe?" I'm like, I don't know. I'm not there. Like I got a phone call from my building manager that was like, because of the winds, which were like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
A tree smashed through my apartment, and so now I just have to wait. But now the winds are apparently supposed to be coming back, so I just literally have a piece of cardboard up there that they put in for a second. So who knows? Maybe next week I'll be singing a different tune.
Yeah, exactly.
But for this week, the tune that I will be singing is from Anzai, our oft winner. So here we go. Without further ado. Mal calls women whore and bitch, and the heart of gold targets rich. Jane gets paid in services through a meeting of their pelvises. In RSL's sex as a job, so when it's free, she starts to sob. They have a gunfight and they win, holed up in a house of sin. Here's your father, he's a baddie, and Jonah, say goodbye to daddy. It's a good one.
That's a go.
It's a good one. I fucked up the chords a little bit, but it's been a while.
It's been.
We're dealing with some shit.
Yeah.
We're dealing with some shit, everybody.
Thanks again, Anzai, and everyone who sends in the lyrics. Again, those are pinned in the Firefly latest episode Discord channel, so you can check out all of those from each episode.
Fun.
Yeah.
Again, shout out to Tofu Lover.
Yes,
you worked really hard on that. You worked really hard on that. I wanted to definitely mention that, give a special mention there, but it was a long ass song, my dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You got enough of my voice with Amazing Grace last week.
My voice with Amazing Grace.
Oh, right. Yes. That was Vance singing that, of course. I'm going to pop open this creamsicle C4, man. I need it.
I'm going with the Zoa White Peach. First time.
That one's good.
First time.
I don't know if it was because it was flat, but I had a cherry limeade one. Just because one of them exploded in the package, and I had that, and I'll be honest, it was not very good. I'm going to chalk that one up to the package was busted.
Yeah, that one's fine. This white peach, you're right, it is like the peach rings.
Yeah, no, the white peach is dope. Okay. Do we have anything else to say up top? Are we in this episode now?
Let's just vamp for a while.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I have a little sippledy-dippledy of this creamsicle. All right. So this episode opens up with a recap.
Is this the final? This is the final episode, right? This is
the final episode in the order that it was intended
Mm-hmm.
to be seen.
Yeah.
This is the second to last episode in the airing.
Mm-hmm.
This one is right before the very first episode, where you get an explanation of who River is, and how everybody got on the ship.
Just a mess. Just a mess.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like at this point they already knew they were canceled. Now they're just
Yeah.
scrambling to fill in airtime. But if you were watching this, you have no fucking idea what's going on, because they have I don't think
The recaps are the
the
full thing.
recaps. I'm looking at the recaps to see if any of the stuff that's in the recap, people would be like, "What the hell episode was that?" But I think they're actually all in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, okay. There's at least that going for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So we got a recap of the Hands of Blue. They're looking for River and who River is.
I know what we got to do.
What?
Predictions.
Oh fuck yeah! Predictions. Yes.
So
C4. I really need it.
yeah. All right. So these are our last predictions for the series.
Yep.
Who do you want to hear first? Because they're both so wrong.
Yeah. You go first.
Okay. I said the Hands of Blue return, and I felt really optimistic when we saw that recap, but no. And then I said River showcases her fighting. No. Didn't throw a punch.
She showcased her wit more than anything.
Yeah. And then Simon and Kaylee kiss.
Oh, wow. You were really close on some of these, dude. You were right in the ballpark on all of them, actually.
And you said Mal confesses feelings for Inara. And you went a step further and said that Mal finger shushes Inara before she tells him and tells her instead. which I thought was a great detail. That's super bonus points if that happened.
Yeah, he does put his finger on her lip. He does put it. We're both kind of in the ballpark.
You also said they kiss.
Yeah.
And then you said Reavers are back.
Oh yeah, no, that did not happen.
And I do remember saying I think we're done with Reavers at some point during the last few episodes.
Yeah. But yeah, we get a Hands of Blue recap, who River is recap, Jane selling Simon and River out recap at the hospital.
Down the river.
Yeah, and River blindly shooting all those people on Ariel. So we open up the episode and River wakes up. We get this weird CGI flying through the ship moment, and it goes right to River, and River can hear everything that's going on the ship. She can hear conversations. She can hear book talk, and she can hear Mal talking. And then so eventually she gets up, starts wandering through the ship, and she first runs into Simon and Kaylee on the couch, and they're flirting with each other. And Simon's regaling Kaylee with a story of how he was basically hazed when he graduated from surgeon school or whatever, and he was naked on singing all this stuff, and Kaylee's like, "You're naked." And River's just listening in. And then River envisions Simon turning to her and saying, "I'd be at the hospital now if it weren't for you," basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then River gets her imaginary feelings hurt because of this.
Her real feelings get hurt.
Her real feelings get hurt from the imaginary scenario that she imagined. Yes. Typical woman.
Now that is Joe Welke speaking.
I had a dream that you were cheating on me. Yeah, fuck you. You piece of shit. But yeah, River leaves, and then Simon and Kaylee just continue on flirting, and Kaylee's got her feet all up on Simon's lap and everything. How have they not they made out when they were drunk or whatever. They hooked up a little bit.
Did
Maybe.
they kiss? Did they make out? I can't remember if they did or not.
I know that Kaylee woke up on top of him. I'm guessing they would have kissed.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They seem very close.
Mhm.
And into, like, I don't do this kind of shit with like female friends.
Oh no, they're definitely flirting. She's
Yeah.
definitely flirting with him.
Yeah. So then River leaves, and then she wanders over to Jane and Book, who are in the kitchen. And they're talking about basically how Book has never been married, and you still get the urges, though. It's not like they chopped it off or anything. And Book's like, oh no, yes, I just I put my energy in towards different things. And then River envisions, Jane selling out River. She envisions like a line that he said.
He said the money
To
was too
her-
good, which they showed in a
money-
recap.
I was stupid. Money was too good. And then she envisions Book saying something rude to her, and I don't remember this.
She
from Book.
says, I don't give a hump if you're innocent or not. And I don't know if that's like Book thinking something in Book's past or something. Or
Yeah.
if Book is saying that about himself because he's covering up for something that he did and he's hiding.
I was trying to remember when Book would have said this in the series,
It's not; these aren't lines necessarily that have been said in the series. Like the one that,
Well, the one that Jane says.
the
was
one that
said in
Simon
the
says
series.
isn't a one that's been said in the series necessarily.
Yeah, well, I guess you're
It's-
right.
Yeah, it's not that.
Yeah.
I think the Book one is. I mean, it doesn't matter because there's no more episodes, but I think it maybe has something to do with what he did in his past that we're never going to see.
Yeah. So after she has these visions of Jane and Book saying rude things, she wanders over to the cockpit and she sees Zoe and Wash making out. And she like envisions them just hooking up hardcore, and then she starts kind of
She gets horny, Joe.
yeah, she gets but she's like having like tremors of horniness. And it's too much for her, so she just leaves.
I mean, Wash is the sex symbol on the ship,
I guess so. And River can feel everything.
I just don't know what they did in her brain that makes her to have that ability.
They messed with her amygdala, Vance. Don't you know? That's the lizard part of our brain.
Yeah, that's what stops us from reading thoughts of other
Yep.
people.
I gotta go get that amygdala surgery and just be able to feel everything.
This
So-
episode was starting out like I was like, oh yeah, Joss is in his bag again.
Dude, yes. I was like, no. Oh
Yeah.
no. It's a dream weird episode.
Especially when we get to this next part. I was like,
Yeah.
oh boy.
So River wanders over to where Mal and Inara are talking, and they're going to New Melbourne, and Inara's like, it's a great midway point, and a bunch of ships stay there, and I could maybe get some business or something. And Mal's like, there's nothing but fish there. And Inara's talking about to Mal, like, how she is planning on leaving, which we was established last episode. And Mal's like, well, when are you going to tell everybody? And I was like, I don't know. It didn't seem right. And I appreciate you not telling everybody. And Mal was like, yeah, no problem. And then River has a vision of them saying some shit. I don't remember what they said.
I don't remember the exact words, but it's basically them not telling their true feelings to each other like they have been not doing for the whole series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then River goes down the stairs to the cargo bay, and she envisions stepping on a tree branch. And then she goes to pick up the tree branch, and now there's leaves all around her, and she's just playing around with this tree branch. And as soon as I saw her holding the tree branch, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, the tree branch that's shaped like a gun.
Yeah. So she's holding this tree branch, and then the whole crew of the ship is like, whoa, 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 River, whoa, put it down. And then you go to reality, and River is actually holding a gigantic gun.
Here's a question that I just thought about right now during this podcast. We just saw where everyone was. Why are they all in the cargo bay right now?
Yeah. No, I thought of that immediately as I saw it. I was like, how'd they all get there that fast?
Like, isn't Wash and Zoe there too? Aren't they there?
Yeah.
They were just making out
everybody's
in the
there.
cockpit.
Yep.
Did Mal see her with the guns? Like, everyone down here, please, everyone.
Yeah. But yeah, everybody's freaking out. Everyone's like, put the gun down, honey. And River's like, it's just a tree branch. And then Mal just grabs the gun from her. And Mal yells at River. He's like, stop touching guns. Don't take guns. What are you doing? You crazy? This thing wasn't, the safety was off and it was locked and loaded and it was ready to go. Don't do this. And then River leaves. And then Mal yells at Simon, being like, isn't she supposed to be fucking medicated? And Simon's like, she is. I don't know. She's just not working. I don't know what to say.
Hey, did you have fun in the medical facility heist or not, huh? Did you have fun or not, huh? That's all I'm doing. I'm trying to give you some fun here, all right? I don't know if it was going to work. You got your medicine. You got your monies.
Isn't it after Jane got sliced with the knife that Mal was like, she needs to stay in? I guess after they dropped the cattle, Mal was a bit more relaxed with the she needs to stay in her room thing.
The stay in the room thing, that was after the cattle. The slicing the chest was after the cattle heist.
Yeah.
He sliced the chest, then they go and do the medical facility thing. That the medical facility episode is the same thing. And then that was it. I mean, we get kind of a similar ending here where nothing gets resolved, but it gets resolved.
Yeah. So yeah, Mal is basically like, you got to keep a better eye on your sister. She's out here holding guns. We can't have that. And Simon's like, I'm trying, man. I'm sorry. I was trying to fuck the engine lady. I'm sorry. Can't have a guy try to get a nut? What the fuck?
Dude, why are they walking around barefoot on the ship? Like, I don't get that. It seems, especially if there's tree branches around.
Yeah. Well, Mal also yells at Jane a little bit too, because he's like, how the fuck why is your gun not locked up? And Jane's like, it was. I'm not fucking, it's not my fault.
It is really tricky to tell where River is during these scenes, because it seems like no one reacts to her when she's near them. Like, Simon doesn't react to her. Mal and Anara don't seem to see her. So it's hard to say if she's actually even there.
Yeah, or if this is just her consciousness floating around the ship.
Yeah.
But anyway, so after this whole gun situation gets settled, a ship shows up behind Serenity, and it's like stalking Serenity. And it's a bad guy. And the guy's looking for River. He's got her fugitive posters and everything. He's got all the reward listings and shit. And he's like, I'm going to get this girl. So then the whole crew of Serenity is meeting in the kitchen. They're talking about how weird River is. And Wash is worried about her. Zoe's like, yeah, I mean, she's just a kid, though. Like, you shouldn't really be worried. And Wash is like, she had a gun, dude. It's a little worrisome. And Mal and Jane, this is where Mal starts kind of yelling at Jane for having his guns out. And Jane's like, bro, I didn't have it out. They're all locked up, and I have them all secure. It's not my fault. And then Mal is talking about how he's going to lock up River. She's grounded. She's going to stay in her room. And everyone's like, that's not cool. And I was like, that's very cool.
Yeah. Well, this is in the cockpit, because we start with Wash and Zoe. And then Mal and Jane come up.
Yeah. And Zoe's like, I don't think that we should really lock her in a room. That seems a little cruel. It's not like she shot anybody. She wouldn't hurt a fly. And then Kaylee's like, actually.
Yeah. I love that they keep being like, she wouldn't be that hurt anybody important. And Jane's like, my chest, butcher knife.
You know what? If I'm Jane, I'm so pissed.
I thought he was going to bring it up again later when they actually are in the kitchen. Because in the kitchen, that's when it comes. I think it's after when they explain the gun shooting thing. And they still be like, we'll talk about this later. And they like forget that Jane got sliced in front of them all.
Or they just don't care.
Or they don't
care that Jane got sliced.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Kaylee shows up in the cockpit to tell them, actually, I did see River shoot a gun before. And they're like, what? No way.
Yeah,
And then we go to the bad guy, and the bad guy's leaving his ship, and he's landing on Serenity, and he's like climbing down and over the window.
It's so funny looking.
Yeah, right.
It's so funny looking. He peeks in a window. It's so weird.
So yeah, then Kaylee gathers the crew around, and this is where she tells everybody about like what happened on Ariel, where Kaylee just didn't have it in her to kill people. She's not a good shot. She didn't have the courage to kill somebody. So she was falling back, and then River just showed up out of nowhere on Serenity and was like, oh, how many people are there? Give me your fucking gun. I'm going to close my eyes. Bang, bang, bang. And killed them all.
Because she feels everything, so she can sense and math. She killed them with mathematics.
Yeah. But there's some people that are skeptical of this. They're like, no way River did that.
She wouldn't hurt a person. She wouldn't hurt a person. And Jane's like, dude, I'm right here. You stitched me up, remember?
The scar is still fresh. The stitches. Remember you stitched me up, Simon?
It aches when it rains.
But Simon's like, she wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that. And then Kaylee says something like, I swear she did this, dude. It was like she wasn't even a person. And then Simon's like, oh, so she's not a person now. Simon playing the role of Kaylee.
I wrote in my notes, nice to see Simon mad at Kaylee.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of predicted this in one of the episodes, that she would eventually reveal it and it would piss off Simon.
Yeah. You probably did. That sounds like something. But so yeah, everybody's kind of arguing a little bit, and River is below them in some kind of cargo bay, just standing on the banister railings, listening to everything.
Like a weird split and head tilted.
Yeah, like in releve, like on her tiptoes and stuff.
She's a ballet dancer, trained ballet dancer. But meanwhile, Boba Fett's eavesdropping on this.
Yeah. So but Kaylee's confessing. She's like, dude, I was scared of River. She scared me. And then Simon's defending her. Book defends her too. And Mal is concerned. He's like, hey, look, I believe you, Kaylee, but also like I don't know. This whole River situation, it's kind of fucked. And I don't know what to trust, but she might be dangerous. And yeah, as Vance said, Boba Fett is listening in with his little stethoscope.
Yeah. If he didn't have the stethoscope, I was like, it's no way he's just hearing outside of a ship.
Yeah.
But still.
He just has his ear to the edge.
He's got a pint glass.
A little paper cup. But this is where Mal reveals that he thinks that River might be a reader, a mind reader or a psychic or some kind of thing, which has been shown when she was getting burned at the stake.
Yeah. Well, they bring up that she might be a witch, and they're like, yeah, she's a witch. Like, there's a lot of back and forth and Jane saying stuff. It's a big one, but we end up on the whole psychic. River's a psychic. I do like the line that Wash is like, that's something out of science fiction. And Zoe goes, you live in a spaceship.
Yeah. And then Wash is like, so?
Yeah.
But yeah, Mal thinks that she's a psychic, and Simon's like, no, she just knows a lot of stuff.
That she shouldn't know at all about
and
people.
then Book is like, you know what? I'm on Mal's side here. Book starts agreeing with me. She might be a psychic.
Book is like, I got to go through the Bible and see what they say about this.
Yeah.
What's the Bible say about psychics?
Oh, dang it. She ripped up my Bible. Whoops. Yeah. Forgot about that.
Oh, I think
she ripped out the pages about psychics.
That's what she was going through. I think Book mentions that, the Alliance could have a use for a psychic. It's like, who couldn't?
Yeah, right?
Badger couldn't? You think Badger couldn't have a use for a psychic?
Niska?
You couldn't have use for it? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want people to read my thoughts.
Simon's all skeptical still. He's like, I don't know. This sounds a little far-fetched, guys. And they're like, they dug in her brain, dude, like over and over and over. They're trying to do something. And Simon's like, I don't think that she would hurt anybody. Jane's just like, am I? they fucking?
That's when I was like, Jane, you gotta say. I thought it was gonna have a joke beat because everyone leaves the table. He's still sitting there. I'm like, he's got to be like, my chest.
Yeah.
But he didn't do it.
Mal is like, I gotta take some time to think it over, figure out what we should do with River because this is all kind of fucking scary.
Yeah.
So everybody leaves, everybody disperses, they go to their room.
And I should say that Anara does have like one line in this scene.
Oh yeah, she does.
She has like one.
This is a child we're talking about, or whatever.
Yeah. That was all it.
Bullshit. So eventually, Kaylee chases Simon down, and she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry, but like, I'm sorry that I told the truth about what your sister did." And then Simon's like, "Say, yeah, you just think that my sister's like some kind of crazy assassin." And Kaylee's like, "I mean, I did see that shit happen. She did say that nothing in the verse can stop her. I didn't say that part of the story, but
she did say that part. She said that she thought she acted like it was a game.
No, but when in the recap, when River shot everybody, she was like, nothing in the verse can stop me.
Yeah, that's because it's a callback for when they were playing Keep the Apple Away. And then Kaylee took it and she said, nothing in the verse can stop me. So she was treating it as if it was her just winning a game as opposed to her killing. That's what she was saying.
Yeah.
The line itself doesn't. The line itself sounds ominous said that way, but the line itself doesn't matter.
You're right. But so yeah, Simon's basically like, River wouldn't hurt anybody. Like, she loves it here. She loves this ship. She loves it, everything about this ship. This is the first time she maybe has felt like she's been home ever. And Simon's like, and I kind of felt that way about the hospital. Like, I felt that's where I felt really at home. And Kaylee's like, yeah, do you like the ship? Simon's like, oh man, I would have been at that hospital if it wasn't for fucking River. I swear to God.
Yeah.
And Kaylee's like, I mean, isn't there anything you like about it? She starts unbuttoning her blouse. Isn't there anything?
Unbuttoning her t-shirt.
Unstitching her crocheted weird tank top.
Yeah.
Isn't there anything on the ship that you like? Can't be all bad. And Simon just kind of looks at her like, ugh. I was making a lot of money at that hospital. And then Kaylee was like, isn't there anything about this place that you're glad of? And Simon's like, oh, I guess I'll take the bait. And then he goes to caress her hair and pull her in for a smooch. But right before he does, Book shows up to cockblock.
Book shows up to ruin my prediction.
Yep. You were so close.
So close. I was like, just do it so I can check that off.
Yep. He walks in, just walks between the two of them and goes, good night, you two, and then leaves. And somehow this just like absolutely kills the mood.
This is a classic thing that happens in movies, rom-coms and stuff. Like they're about that kiss, something happens, that leaves, and they're like, well, I guess the moment's gone, so it's all over. It's like, yeah, you can work back up to that. Just work back. And then she goes,
just kiss in front of Book.
Yeah. Or just go into one of the dark corners of the ship. The ship is huge. Right.
Go to that place where everything is hidden in the ship.
Yeah. Also, I do have to commend Simon for being more forgiving than Kaylee was.
Yeah, for sure.
He didn't hold a grudge with her the whole episode for her calling River not a human. You know, he was like, "Yeah, it's fine, it's fine." Yeah, Kaylee would have held that grudge. What? I'm the only thing? You know what? I'm going to talk about the boy whores again.
Should have gotten some back at the Heart of Gold.
Yeah.
So yeah, the mood is killed. Kaylee leaves. Simon goes, they go their separate ways. And then we go to Mal, who is still in the kitchen, and he's alone. He's in his thoughts. He's trying to figure out what to do with River, and he shuts the lights off. He goes to his room, climbs down his little ladder, which, dude, I love that contraption. Like the door to his room. He just kind of kicks it and then he climbs it down. That's so cool.
The ship is actually pretty nice. I think they do a good job this episode of showing the ship being nice. And this guy mentioned the ship nice. But I thought even when you see Simon and Kaylee together in that room. I was like, that looks like a cozy little area.
Right, dude? That's
Yeah.
a great nap spot.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? I'll throw it to like the Buffy show when they had that little nook that they hung out in the high school in that season, you know? Just like that little area with the couches.
I'll throw out a thing that it reminded me of. Have you ever been to the Bougie Pig on Franklin?
Bourgeois pig?
Bourgeois Pig, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Kind of reminds me of that.
Yeah, that coffee shop. Yep.
Yeah. By UCB Franklin.
Yeah. The darkest coffee shop you can go to.
It is very dark. But it's a vibe, dude.
Yeah,
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. Yeah.
But yeah, so Mal's like climbing down to go to his quarters. And this is where we pan over to a ladder, and the bad guy bounty hunter is breaking in, and he climbs down, takes off his little mask, closes the hatch, and then he starts walking in, pulls out his gun, and he's skulking around, and he turns the corner, and Mal's there waiting for him.
Well, we get like a commercial break when he pulls a little gun. Now, my question is, how did he get into the ship?
Yes. Also, he left that door open
And then
before he
goes-
took his mask off.
And then goes to close the door.
Yeah.
The show's been, I can't say accurate, but it's been trying to be space
At least
accurate.
consistent,
Yes.
with the space stuff.
And I was wondering, like, how is he gonna get into the ship? Because there's a whole lot of levers and extra things and pressurizations that have to happen. He just, like he was going down into the sewer.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept calling this guy Hitman and Boba Fett, but his name is Early.
Yeah, for the first half of this episode, I kept calling him bad guy.
Yeah. And he's played by an actor named Richard Brooks, who's been in Law and Order, the show Bosch, Abbott Elementary recently, I guess, too. Like he's got a good little run.
His voice is insanely deep.
On IMDb, they say commanding actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's got a crazy deep voice, my dude.
Now, little spoilers for Serenity, the movie. That has
No.
Chiwetel Ejiofor in it. And I don't know if he plays the same I don't know if he plays the same character, but I was wondering if that was going to be him in this. It's a different name for that character in Serenity, so I don't know if it's a little bit of the same crossover of a character, but yeah.
So he's skulking his way through the ship, runs into Mal, and then they start fighting. And Early just beats up Mal, knocks him out, and tosses him down into his living quarters, knocked out. And we got a scene of like Zoe and Wash like kind of rustling because from all the commotion. But Early's like trying to be as quiet as possible, not to wake up people.
Apparently, the ship is super small now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then Early goes over to like the keypad thing, and he locks everybody in their rooms. It seems like.
Yep. Didn't know that was a thing, but sure.
I didn't either. In fact, in my note, I said that he deactivated locks because I was like, I don't know exactly what he's doing here.
No, he's locking everyone in their room. Yep.
Good plan.
Yeah, not a bad plan. I would not want to be on that ship if that's capable of doing that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? That's weird.
I'm sure you can lock every section because I know that's what they did when that fire happened.
Yeah. So we go over to Kaylee, who's just, fucking around on the engine and doing her little mechanic stuff. And she hears a door creak and she's like, River? Is that you, River? And it is not River. It is Early. And he shows up and he's like, in this scene, I was like, do these two know each other? Like, because it seems like the way that he's talking to Kaylee, it's like he's a guy from her past or something.
This scene a couple of these scenes are a little overwritten. Not badly written, just overwritten.
Yeah, dude, this guy Early is also fucking weird.
He's weird and inconsistent. It's
Yes.
like where you want a guy to be weird and confusing, but then you also get some of the weirdness jokes in there that there's a point that comes up later and I'm like, I understand the writery nature of like you writing that and you keep it in, but it's kind of like tonal.
Exactly what you're talking
and it's
about.
like tonally, you just got to cut it. It's like you definitely write it, you put it in the script, and then you go, all right, I got that out of my system. Let's cut that out because it doesn't work necessarily.
Yeah.
Here, this is interesting because it's the first time this is the first time we've seen him in, or like, instead of just punching and fighting and sneaking around, he's actually talking.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a commanding voice. He's fucking it. Like, you're like, all right, this is a cool guy. And bounty hunters, hitmen, they're always compelling.
Yes.
But the thing that he says here to Kaylee, just
first of all, he compliments the ship. And yes, I did. Nice ship. I was like, this is a nice ship. And in my note, I said, how did Kaylee not immediately fuck this guy?
I know. Yeah. When he said it was a nice ship, I thought she was going to give him a tour, like sell everyone out.
Yeah. But he's like, this is a crazy like engine. You work on this? You work on this, Kaylee? And she's like, yeah. And she's like looking at him and she's like shaking. Mm-hmm. That's why I was like, does she know this guy?
No, I think she was just stunned. So I think she was shocked. Yeah. It's weird for another person to be on the ship.
I guess so, yeah.
Also physically impossible to get onto the ship.
Yes. But he's like, yeah, you work on this as a nice ship. So anyway, where's River? Because I'm getting River. And Kaylee's like, I don't know. And then Early just is like, hey, Kaylee, you ever been raped? And I was like, whoa, that escalated real fucking quick.
So unnecessary.
And then he's just like, yeah, because like, I could do that. And like, there's no one that can help you. And I want you to say that back to me. Tell me that there's nobody that can help you. And she's like, nobody can help me. And he's like, all right, well, here's the thing. I'm going to tie you up and you're going to tell me where River is. And if you don't, like, just know that I could do whatever I want to you and there's nothing you can do about it. And I was like, Jesus, this is on Fox?
I know. I was like, why are we doing this? What is this? Why are we doing this to Kaylee?
Yeah, he's like, if you make a ruckus, I will come back and I will have my way with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck, dude?
You don't need to make that a threat.
Yeah. It just like, it was so unnecessary and escalated and crazy.
It sets the tone really weird when you can't fully enjoy the oddity that is him in later scenes.
Yes, it's like so inconsistent.
It's like this guy right here, I don't want to be laughing about like some of the stuff he does, and I don't want to like have fun with his little philosophizing.
Mm-hmm.
If he just threatened her, but now he's like doing a full power trip. Like when he told her like, I want you to say it, like that is, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, dude, it was very uncomfortable. Like
I was like, what are we doing?
Well, and that's also like the introduction to him. So from that moment there, I'm like, oh, that's who this guy is.
Yeah.
And then as the episode progresses, I'm like, that's not who that guy is at all. It doesn't seem like, I don't know who this guy is.
And I'm really confused. Like, is this just a psycho killer? Because there's definitely something social norms off about you if you're like willing to just kill people for money and you don't have that, like, it just doesn't bother you at all. That's one thing. But what he's talking about is a whole nother element of that.
Yeah, like that doesn't have anything to do with the job.
Like there are hitmen that don't want to kill women and children. You know, like they have that weird. And he mentions later, just like he mentions having a code. And I was like, what the fuck is your code then, dude?
Yeah, dude.
I just thought this was so unnecessary. It was so. Yeah, I didn't like it. I mean. Yeah. It's not like one of those things where it's like you can't ever have like assault stuff in things, but I felt like this assault reference here was too over the top and unnecessary. That didn't add enough. It added too much, actually. It added too much to the character.
Yes. But it added too much in the fact that like that's the standard now. That's where the bar is for Early.
Yeah.
And then everything else like in the rest of the episode doesn't seem as like. He seems weird. He just seems like kooky and weird at some points. I'm just,
why did he
are you?
Why didn't he just break Mel's neck?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know, man.
Like you do not even, it was Kaylee. Just tie her up and ask her a question. She was not even posing a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bored with your boring cardio? Stop pedaling that snooze cycle to Nowheresville and try some cardio that's actually fun. Supernatural fitness, available on MetaQuest. Isn't that right, Jane Fonda?
Cardio will never be boring again.
Sweat to the beat of thousands of chart-topping songs inside stunning virtual landscapes.
Bet your stationary bike can't do that.
Visit GetSupernatural.com and join the next fitness revolution. Supernatural VR Fitness, only on MetaQuest. Rated Teen for Teen.
So anyway, he leaves Kaylee tied up there, and he goes and Book. We then go to Book, and Book is wandering around, and he hears something. And he's like, "Hello." Then he hears a little something else, and he's like, "Who's up there?" He starts climbing up these stairs, and before he can like take one step, Early like swings down from the steps and just double kicks him in the face and knocks him out.
Book looks so peaceful, knocked out. He looked like a person that just took the best nap ever. He had like a smile on his face. I was like, that's great. I want to be kicked in the face like that.
It's better than any melatonin I've taken.
Hey, Early, will you drop kick me? I want to go get a nice 8 hours.
But so yeah, the Book is now knocked out. And this wakes Simon up. And Simon's wandered around shirtless. I thought he was completely naked because they just kept showing him from the waist up for like a long time. I was like, is he just walking around naked? He goes to like River's room. He's like, River? I was like, you better have pants on, bro.
River, Kaylee turned me down again.
Oh, no. That was Vance Tucker, everybody. That was Vance.
Josh was like, this is my last episode. We're going out with a bang.
Hopefully not with a bang.
Oh, man.
But so yeah, Simon goes to check on River, and this is when Early shows up to beat up on Simon and beats him up and pulls his gun on him, and he's like, hey, where's River? And Simon's like, I don't know. I was just looking for her. I don't know. And then he's like, well, I'm here to take River. I'm going to get there. She's worth a lot of money. And Simon goes, so are you a Alliance? And then Early goes, no, I'm not a lion. And Simon's like, what? And Early's like, yeah, a lion, that's like an animal in the jungle. I'm not that. And then Simon goes, no, I said Alliance. And Early's like, oh, no, yeah, no, I'm not. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Cut that out or start with it. Like, you have to like start with this and he's an incompetent or like kind of real confusing character. But after what I just saw with Kaylee, he can't. Yep. We can't have a lion joke.
Yeah. And dude, like,
remember that Buffy? Remember that Buffy thing at the wedding? It was a wedding scene, and Buffy thought they were saying something about like a priest that does something, and it was like a dragon priest. It was one of those word salady things.
Yeah.
But and this is that too.
We saw him knock out Mal, so we know he's a good fighter. Saw him threaten Kaylee, so you know he's like, whoa, he's crazy. Knocks out Book. So we still see he's like very competent fighter-wise. And then this first interaction with Simon is like a misunderstanding, weird, jokey thing. And Simon's looking at him like, who the hell are you? Simon's like very flippant about this guy. Like, he doesn't seem threatened by him, but he should be.
I kind of like this version of Simon that's a little more hardened. But I mean, I get you. He should be a little more shocked and frightened just because he's not a fighter.
Well, yeah, I mean, Early is like threatening him. And then he gets into this like,
but do they even know? Here's my question: do they even know what a lion is?
That's a good point. I guess so.
I guess it's in the Bible.
Did they take lions to other planets, like Noah's Ark?
It's so well. They knew they do have cattle still.
Yeah, they have horses.
The Bible mentions lions. I'm sure they got. I know they know what the lion is.
Yeah,
I was always thinking that. I was like, they're not watching nature videos though.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, they probably read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. They get it. There's a picture of it on the cover.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, like Early's threatening Simon, and he gets into this whole thing about like, you ever been shot, Simon? And Simon,
that's later.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Right now they're rambling about like which rooms, does a room have a purpose if no one's in there? And that's when I was like, it's starting to get real overly written.
Yeah. And then he asks if River's banging anybody on the crew, and Simon's like, no, heavens no.
Then he doubles down on assaulting Kaylee.
Yeah,
as a threat to. I was like, oh, is that the thing? Is that the threat? Because the threat is River. Like,
well, that's the thing is like Early's like, I'm taking your sister, and Simon's like, no, you're not. And he's like, well, I got Kaylee tied up, and Simon's like, okay, I'll help you. Like, oh, I thought that you're doing all of this for River.
I was like, we don't need to add that extra thing for Simon to care.
Yeah. And Simon's like, well, I'm not going to help you, Early. And then Simon's like, yeah, if you don't help me, I'll shoot you. And I wrote in my note here, I can hear every piece of leather on Early's body. Because, dude, he's walking around, you just hear that crunch of the leather.
He can't sneak anywhere. He does tell Simon that either he gets shot here right now, or you help me and then try to take your chance to have a moment to try to get the drop on me. Which I was like, oh, that's cool. It doesn't really pay off at all.
No.
But
it's hinted at.
Yeah. But this is, again, a guy who has like a coat. I don't know. I've seen so many like hitmen stuff like this. And it's really interesting until it's not sometimes. Mm-hmm. They just started it off wrong.
Yeah. So yeah, Simon's now helping Early, and they're wandering through the ship, and they pass by Book, and Simon's like, oh yeah, real cool of you to knock out a shepherd. And Early goes, that guy's not a fucking shepherd. And then Simon's like, whoa.
That was interesting to me because no one else, even Alliance members who have interviewed him, have never said, oh, he's not a shepherd.
Yep.
This is where we get it hinted that, oh, there's more to Book. I mean, we've got it hinted the whole series that no one seems to figure out.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know why he's on the ship.
Yeah. No, he's just wandering.
Yeah.
So they go to the infirmary, and Early's like, is she here? And Simon's like, this is her least favorite place, my dude. She hates this place. It reminds her of the Alliance. Alliance, not a lion. Alliance.
Oh.
They did a bunch of surgeries on her, and this place reminds her of that. And this is when Early starts threatening Simon. He's like, you ever been shot? And Simon's like, no. He's like, that's kind of fucked up, isn't it? You know, you work on a bunch of people that have been shot, and you've never been shot. You don't know what it feels like. I was like, well, that doesn't really.
I'm all right with it. He was like, psychotherapists have to be psychoanalyzed, but surgeons never get cut or shot, and they don't know. Like, from his logic and standpoint, I understand the but like the start of it. But like, it's not like you need to be set on fire to be a firefighter. You know, like it's
yeah.
But it's
the surgeons don't shoot people. Like, if he was like, you ever?
Well, there actually is a show now on, I think NBC, where the doctor's like, I like to feel what my patient's feeling. They're like, you took the medicine.
So Brilliant Minds or whatever. Yeah.
So that's exactly what he's talking about here. Wait, you took your patient's drug? And he's like dancing. I've only seen the commercials. And I'm like, dude. What? And I was like, that's so dumb. You don't need to take
Zachary
medicine.
Quinto is the king of bad TV series that we've only seen the commercials for. The Slap, Brilliant Minds.
We should watch Slap as a fundraiser.
We absolutely should watch the Slap.
I did watch Heroes. That was my first interaction with him.
Oh yeah, he was in Heroes. Yeah, I forgot about that.
But this is when I thought it was crazy that Simon was trying to appeal to this guy. It's like, appeal to Early. Be like, hey, you're bringing him to the Alliance, and this is going to be what they're going to do to her. He's like, I'm a hitman, killer. I just threatened. Did you hear what I just did? I don't care what they do with your sister.
Go ask Kaylee if I care. She's not even a part of this. But anyway, So they continue the search. They're looking through the cargo bay, and Simon Early's got his back turned on Simon, and Simon's like, oh, this might be my moment that Early's talking about. So he takes like not even a step towards this guy. He like breathes in Early's direction, and Early just points his gun at Simon. He's like, nope, not yet. This is not your moment. And Simon's like, ah. And so
he really compliments the ship, though. He really compliments the ship.
He loves this ship, dude.
Yeah. Mentions objects in space, the title.
Yep. Title, roll credits.
Then he licks the ship. That was weird. That was real weird.
So they're going to go check the empty shuttle before they go to Inara's shuttle, and Early tastes like the railing of the ship.
He licks the ship. He's like, wait. And he licks the ship, and you're like, okay, guy's weird.
Well, when he did that, I was like, is that where River was standing when she was? But
no, because it's the top.
It was a vertical pull.
Yeah. No, it's just a weird thing that he's doing to be weird, and it makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't come back at all.
Doesn't come back. Just weird.
So they don't find anything in the empty shuttle. They go to Inara's shuttle, and River's not there, and Inara's like, good luck finding her. You're not going to find her. We can barely find her even when she's like not trying to hide or whatever. And Early's like, all right, cool, I'm leaving. Simon, let's keep going. So Simon leaves, and as Early's leaving, Inara's kind of like, there are things that like maybe we could work out something.
She doesn't say that.
What does she say to him? Because it seems like she's trying to...
The weirdest... Okay, so this scene, he goes to Nara's room. He says he won't waste time threatening her because she knows the situation. And then he hits her with the gun for, as he quotes, visiting his intentions. She says, she says, I know this isn't really what you want to be doing or something. And that's when he's like, don't ever tell me, like, don't ever like visit my intentions or like try to pretend like question what my thing. Yeah.
See, I thought that it was like Inara was trying to like come on to him to distract him or something. That's what I thought was going on, and that's why he pistol whipped her and was like, "No, bitch, don't question my intentions."
No,
and he says some misogynistic shit as he's leaving.
Then he says, it's crazy that men are stronger than women, but women are only ones that are able to bear kids. And he's like, that doesn't seem fair, does it? And you're like, what are we doing? What are you doing?
Like, where is this guy's moral compass?
And
he's also got a code, apparently.
And also, you threaten to assault Kaylee, but you decide, you see Inara and you go like, I don't need to threaten to assault you. What was the two differences?
Yeah.
And do they even tie? He doesn't even tie Inara up.
No, he just leaves her there.
Doesn't lock the shuttle or anything. He's just like, yeah, I know you're not a part of this episode.
I guess he thought that the pistol whipping was enough.
Well, he wasn't going to do that if she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
She was just going to lie in bed.
Yeah. Maybe that's part of his code. He doesn't tie up companions. See, this guy is so weird.
He's all over the place to the point where there's some fun stuff, but it's not consistently threaded through. And I think the actor's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just when he didn't threaten Inara the same way, I was like, oh, that's weird.
Well, they just gave him too many things.
Yes, they gave him everything. They gave him everything. He has every quirk in the book.
Like if he came in and was like tasting everything, that could be a fun quirk. And it's like, oh, that's how he finds people. If he came in and just started threatening to assault everybody.
Yes. If he was just
some kind of weird
if he was just like really confusing and philosophical like he was at times with Simon, that would be interesting too.
Yeah, but he's
all of them.
It's not good.
And he even gets more thrown onto him at the end.
Yeah. So then Zoe and Wash wake up, and Mal wakes up, and because Early starts yelling, trying to find out where River is, and River goes over the intercom, and she says that she's not on the ship. she has melted away. She's not on the ship. She is in the ship, and that she is the ship. And River's gone. She is Serenity now. You're talking to Serenity, and Serenity is very unhappy. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Did this become a ghost story? What's happening?
At this point, I was like, that is interesting because you always have, like, you have Knight Rider, the car that can talk, and you have like the Tony Stark suits and stuff and Spider-Man suits.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Sure. River is the ship. I'm down for it.
That's what I thought too. I was like, all right, she's the ship now.
I don't care. I don't even know how it works, but I'm down. If she's the ship.
I was waiting for like gaskets to start blowing in Early's face. And like,
I was all for it. I was like, if she's the ship, that's fine. I'm down. Like, you could talk to her. She'd be like, oh yeah, even like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yeah.
I think there was a Disney. I think it was
the house thing.
It was billed
the house. The
Smart House.
Smart House. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was billed as a horror movie, but it sounded like one.
They made
the
one
house
recently.
was like alive, and they remade it.
They made a horror AI house movie with like John Cho from like Harold and Kumar or something. Is that his name? John Cho, I think. It's called something. I forget what it was called, but
of course it's called something.
Hey, you never know if they're just gonna just stop naming movies and just put them out. Have you seen? Yeah, I've seen.
Yeah. Have you seen exclamation point?
Fine, I'll look it up.
But yeah, that's where I was like, I was game for River becoming the ship.
It's called Afraid.
Wow, that's a really shitty title for that movie.
I think it's on Netflix, maybe? Yeah. The Curtis family is selected to test a new home device, a digital assistant called AIA. AIA learns the family's behavior and begins to anticipate their blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds like a good premise for a horror movie. And for this episode, but that's not what happens. But I was game for that. I was like, okay, River can feel everything. We've seen her like envisioning things. We don't know where she is ever.
Yeah.
Like, maybe. I was here for it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It makes almost more sense than what actually happened.
Yeah. So now Kaylee like kind of wakes up, and River, in my note it says River, aka the ship, starts talking to her.
Here's the thing. Kaylee was never knocked out.
Yes, she wasn't. You're right. She was just shaken. Understandably so.
I still want Kaylee to have more survivor skills than this for someone that's been on this ship.
Yeah. But River starts talking to her, and she's like, wake up. Get up. You got to get up. And Kaylee's like, I can't move. I'm tied up. And River's like, bro, you got fucking sharp tools all over the place.
You're
fucking untie yourself. What are you, stupid?
Like, did you not hear what he said he was going to do? Why are you not trying?
Yeah. Fight, flight, or freeze. Kaylee's a freeze, I guess.
She did run away when those people were shooting, and River had to save her. But I mean, hey, you're sitting next to your toolbox.
Right, dude. He just left her there right next to the tools.
Yeah.
But yeah, River's like, hey, calm down, Kaylee, it's fine. And Kaylee's like, no, I'm so sorry. I told Early where you were. I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to do. And River's like, hey, don't worry about it. But right now, you need to be brave. Get some sharp tools and get up and escape.
Can River see everything?
Can River patch into separate intercom systems?
I don't. Yeah.
So Early is having enough with this foolishness. He points his gun at Simon. He's like, bro, stop with this River is the ship bullshit. Where is she? And then River starts talking to Early, and she's like, I know your real name, Jubal Early. And I know that your mom was very unhappy with you. Oh, whoops. She was, because she's dead now. And she would have been mad that you're hurting people. And, you're a
happens
liar.
a little later, but yeah.
Yeah. And Simon Early is like, bro, what the fuck is going on? And Simon's like, I don't know, man. Apparently my sister's a ship now. Whatever.
We had a strange childhood. I love this Simon, though. This is the fun Simon where he's just like, just throwing out shade. Just
yeah. He sits down. He crosses his leg. Dude, I guess my sister's a ship.
I like the like high above it all. Like, I'm a doctor. I'm smarter than everybody else. I'm just going to treat this situation like whatever. Like, I like this. Simon has come around. I will say that. Simon has come around for me.
I do not like this.
I like this Simon better than the other Simon. This is the Simon that can talk shit to Mal, you know? I understand it doesn't. I understand it doesn't make a ton of sense because he's around this killer guy, but it makes sense in the weird Whedon verse to me that this is how characters react when they're in these situations. Like Wash would still make jokes. Mal would like come up with a witty thing, and this is Simon's version of that.
I just think that like from what we've seen of Simon is like he cares so deeply about his sister. Like he's doing everything in his life to protect his sister. And then this guy has got a gun. He's like, where's your sister? And he's like, what are you going to do? Shoot me? Fucking go ahead. I dare you. It's like, what are you talking about?
Well, at this point, though, his sister is controlling the ship's mind. At this point, you now have no fear that your sister's going to get caught. So you just give him shit.
He is even kind of like, uh-oh, you better watch out. My sister's the ship.
Because I think later he's like, wait, you want me to like appeal to you? Like appeal to her for you? Oh no, he's fine. Like I'd like that.
Yeah. You want me to be your advocate?
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mal wakes up and he's confused and River is talking to Mal and she's like, Mal, I need you to do me a favor. And he's like, what the hell's going on? You're the ship now? She's like, no time to explain. I just need you to trust me. And then Kaylee gets up and she's sneaking out of the engine room. And
if you woke up and you heard, if you woke up from being unconscious, you might not be thinking straight. But would your first thought when you hear someone talking to you in the ship is that they are the ship? Wouldn't your first question be like, where are you? Are you in the control deck?
Yeah. Like, how are you? Kaylee or River, stop playing around with the intercom system.
Yeah. I wouldn't be like, are you the ship now?
Yeah. But yeah, Kaylee gets up and she's sneaking out of the engine room. And now we go to Early and Early is like confused. And he starts like poking around the ship. And he's like, what do these buttons do? And he was talking to Simon. He's like, man, your sister is small. She's giving me more trouble than this arsonist midget that I had to pick up. And Simon's like, what was that guy's deal? He's like, I don't know. He's just small.
No, I said he was a midget. And then he says, what did he do? And he said he likes to set fires.
Yeah. And Kaylee sneaking around some more and she sees Early in the cockpit. And it looks like Early like looks right at her, but he doesn't see her. And she taps some buttons on that keypad to unlock everybody from their living quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And River says that Early could beat up Zoe and Wash because Zoe and Wash are now like getting prepared. And she's like, you guys don't have a chance. This guy is a professional. He's a bounty hunter. You would not be able to beat him up. And I was like, I don't know.
And then River goes, no guns.
Yeah.
So she senses that or sees it. It was such a strange thing for this last episode to be very Zoe and Mal light.
Yeah.
And Inara
very
light considering
River heavy.
And very Inara light considering her last statement.
Yeah. So then we go over to Mal and River's like, go now. It's time for you to go. And then all the lights on the ship go out and River's threatening Early and she's like, you gotta leave. And you're a bad guy and your mom is ashamed of you and all this stuff. And then Early starts like freaking out a little because now he's on a haunted ship that's possessed by River. And he's like, wait a minute. Hold on a second. You're not the ship.
Wait, but
you're on my ship.
Before that, though, we get River talking about how like his mom saw the darkness in him, that he was like a psychopath, animals were going missing, classic, serial killer stuff. And then we get like a Glory-esque freak out with the editing effect, where it's close-ups of him listening to River talk. Mm-hmm. And then we cut to him like doing they cut the weird facial tics. And yeah, they do all of that. And then he somehow realizes that she's on his ship because I guess she's reading his journal. I have no idea what clicked for him.
Yeah, I don't either. But it clicked for him.
And then this made him even more flustered, what also got me strange. Like,
yeah, he was like so scared. He's like, wait, you're on my ship. Okay. He's like pleading with River. He's like, please, I'll do anything. Just get off of my ship.
And here's the thing. They just needed I want to say they're doing the whole thing where Mal was willing to die with his ship that he found in the junkyard. Like he was willing to go down and out of gas. And this is kind of, I guess, because he's been like, oh, I like this ship. I like this ship. I like this ship. So he cares about ships. So I'm sure he has an attachment to his spaceship, right?
Yeah.
But we don't ever establish that. Yeah. So when she's on his ship and he's like, oh shit, it's not like, oh, she got the thing he loves and she's going to threaten to violate that ship, you know?
Yeah.
They just need to plant that seed a little bit so that we know why her being on his ship is the scariest thing. I'm like, that's half the job. Now you just have to get back to your ship.
Yeah.
Wasn't that your plan to take her to your ship? So
yeah. She did it for you, man.
Like, does your ship have a cannon that can shoot through this ship? Like, what are you worried about?
I mean, I guess he was just scared of the secrets that she was going to tell from his journal.
Yeah.
Talking about his little wiener or something. I don't know.
I don't know what it was. But he gets real flustered when he finds out she's more flustered that she's on his ship than that she is the ship.
Yes. 100%. That was so weird.
Yeah. They gotta do something to make you really feel why that is. I mean, I can make myself get there, but they don't do it in the presentation themselves.
Yeah. But yeah, Early's pleading with her. He's like, please get off my ship. Please don't do anything. Don't touch anything, blah, blah, blah. And then River's like, no, I'm leaving. I'm leaving with the ship. And now River's like talking to the crew of Serenity. And she's like, I'm leaving on Early's ship because I'm, a burden basically. And everybody can be who they want to be, where they want to be, with who they want to be with. And I'm just going to leave. And then Early's like walking down the stairs. He's like, please don't do this. Please. And then this is where Simon kind of gets his moment gets the drop on Early. He does do it. And jumps on Early, and Early shoots Simon. And and that wasn't part of River's plan.
The montage of people looking sad while hearing River talk about how she's going to leave with Early was so so forced seeming. Not forced. It's just, I know what they're going for, but everyone looking up and being all like emotional, like, oh no, she's going to leave. I'm like, you guys were debating whether or not to kick her off the ship.
You guys were debating whether or not she was the ship.
Yeah. Wait, when she says like, how do they know that she's not the ship anymore?
I guess that you told them in their private intercom conversations.
Well, because she doesn't, because Mal wakes up, thinks he's like, you're the ship now? And then she just tells him what to do.
Yeah.
And then Early goes, wait, you're on my ship. But they can't hear what Early's saying in the cockpit.
Yeah.
So what does Zoe think is going on? But Zoe and Wash are like, oh no, she's going to leave. And I was like, I'm down for that. I'm down for that ending. And then they go rescue her in the next season or something,
That's what I thought was
or she takes them down from the inside and sends a message. I don't know. I was interested in her leaving with her.
But Simon gets shot in the leg. River starts screaming. Simon's still attacking Early. He's jumping on him. And this wakes Jane up only for a second. And it looks like Jane's going to join the fight. He rips off his little like covering where all of his guns are. And then he just uses it as a blanket and goes back to sleep.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved that moment. And so character accurate.
Yep.
he's not fighting for them again. I know he felt bad the first time. He bought him a bunch of apples. He's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But Early's beating up Simon now, and eventually, like, Early leaves Serenity, and he's going back to his ship. But before he does, Mal catches up to him, and they're on top of Serenity now in outer space in their spacesuits. And Mal just grabs Early and just tosses him into space.
I watched this scene twice because it was very... I mean, the effects are weird. The effects are really weird. And there's some stuff. Like, I guess my extent of knowing how space works a bit is seeing some Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and more importantly, like, I guess, Gravity, the Sandra Bullock movie.
Gravity.
Yeah. Now, Mal pushes Early into... He just pushes him. And if you get pushed, you're going to go in that direction. Unless you have, like, some propellant or something, or you're tethered. And he goes towards his own ship, it seems. And then all of a sudden, it's like a gust of wind pushes him hard left. And he flies away. And I was like, what? I went back and watched that. And then the next scene, this awkward straight cut is now the ship, his ship is flying away. And River is somehow floating down to Serenity with no propellant, nothing propelling her down, no tether. Mal's not tethered to the ship at all. And she just lands on the ship.
Yeah,
and
Mal catches her.
And I was like, how? Did she just send his ship into the sun? Like, what is going on? How did she just jump out of that? And then the gravitational pull of Serenity pulled her? What is happening? Why is she being pulled in, but he was pushed and shot to the left?
Yeah.
I
can't answer any of these questions. When River starts like floating down like Princess Leia, in one of those new Star Wars movies where she's like frozen or whatever, I was like, what the fuck's all right, whatever.
But how is
2 seconds ago I thought she was the ship. Whatever.
True. And how is Mal just there? He's not like tethered to anything.
Yeah. I mean, they also, like, as soon as she gets there, they start quipping at each other.
Oh my gosh. And I was like, wait, she's still the same dangerous person that had a gun like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you guys are best friends. He does say something like, I don't know. He's like,
you really are an odd bird or whatever.
Yeah.
And River's like, yeah.
And
Come
something
on,
about
it's time for dinner.
They riff about they riff about Simon. It's hard to watch out. You gotta keep an eye on him or something.
Yeah.
I guess she knows Simon's okay, even though she heard a gunshot and then got no more information. Like, from all she knows, I guess she can feel that he's not dead.
I honestly would have preferred if she was the ship, if I'm being real.
Honestly, I was like, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Is that what like the movie Serenity is about?
That's what happened in that Solo movie, isn't it? One of those like
Han Solo movie?
Yeah. Doesn't one of the droids become like the ship because it gets damaged and they put it into the ship so it becomes, I don't know, maybe it's some Star
since I saw that.
It's some Star Wars thing I saw that a droid like ends up becoming the ship.
Mm. I mean, isn't that what Iron Man is? His like digital assistant became part of his suit.
But I mean, that's the digital assistant already. But I mean, it wasn't like a robot or person.
A hot chick voice. Because he's not gay. I don't want a fucking man voice in my suit.
Iron Man still has the man voice, doesn't he? Spider-Man has. Spider-Man had Jennifer Connelly.
I could have swore that Iron Man did too.
Oh, maybe he changed because it became Vision. Because
Vision,
Vision
Jarvis became Vision.
Yeah. It's the opposite direction.
Yeah.
The AI in the suit becomes a physical form.
Well, it was out of the suit. He builds the suit, puts Jarvis in the suit. Then Jarvis becomes Vision.
And Jarvis was based off of a person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An actual butler.
Yeah.
God. And then he fucks a witch.
Hey, honestly,
a digital assistant, a PDA fucks a witch.
Honestly, Marvel had a good 10-year run of just solid, they did it. They did it.
Yep.
We'll see what happens next phase 26 or whatever.
Yeah. Nothing's all those movies are getting canceled. Say goodbye to Blade.
People seem to like the Agatha show. I haven't seen it.
You know what? Yeah, people do seem to like that.
And Deadpool, Wolverine made a ton of money. So,
but is that really even a part of it?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
What do you mean it's a part of it?
I don't think. I know that it's like a part of the Marvel. Like
they are now, but
umbrella?
they're not. Yeah, they're part of it now.
Yeah,
recently.
but like Deadpool and Wolverine aren't going to figure into like the next couple of movies.
I mean, X-Men is now part of the Marvel thing, like the same as Fantastic Four now, right? I mean, Fantastic Four. Yeah. So they're all in it. They're all in.
So yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, Marvel talk. Everyone tunes in to Firefly for Marvel talk.
Hey, it's Joss Whedon. He did the first. Yeah,
he did the first Avengers too.
We should do some DC talk because he did the terrible Justice League movie.
No,
I remember seeing that in theaters, just shocked at how bad it was.
Did you watch the Snyder?
No, no. No. Anyway, so we go back on the ship, and Simon's getting Zoe to do surgery on him, and she's doing great. And this kind of calls back to, Mal's scolding of Simon, like when River had the gun. He's like, if she shot you, you're the only doctor on board. Who can patch you up? So I guess this is now like, Simon imparting some knowledge onto Zoe.
And then Zoe's something like, I think Zoe at some point said I wouldn't want to be doing this too. Or
Zoe said earlier. Like, usually I'm the one putting bullets into people, not taking them out.
Yeah, but I think previously in a previous episode, she mentioned something about not wanting to do this. But I'm with you. What you're about to say is, who did medical stuff before Simon got there?
Well, Zoe did
some
medical stuff because we saw her do medical stuff earlier in the season.
Yeah. I mean, what would happen if they get shot with a bullet? Do they just go to another off-brand medical facility?
I don't know. They're out there on the corner of No and Where, Vance.
That's where they're going to drop off Inara.
Yeah. And then we have Mal and Inara. They're bonding over how Early's probably dead. And then I wrote in my note, Mal touches her lip and she quivers.
What my note says, Mal asks Inara how her lip is and she slinks away. Ugh, just bone already.
But he like touches her lip like with his thumb and she's like, ugh.
And she leaves. She like storms off. She doesn't want any part of it.
She's a real, if we went back in time and Disney was doing those live action remakes of the cartoon, she would be a great Megara from Hercules.
Yeah.
She's got the hair going. She's already got the outfits.
She's got the look. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She won't say she's in love. Anyway, Book and Jane start lifting weights, and Jane's like, I can't believe I slept through all that. And Book is like, yeah, so did I.
Well, Book is like, I got my licks in. Like,
oh, yeah. You should see the other guy.
I do love
him a hell of a fight.
I do love Book and Jane broing it out, and I do love Jane lying to say what she didn't sleep through it all.
Yeah.
I'm upset I missed everything. Like, no, you're not.
And then we have Kaylee and River playing jacks, and they're talking about boys. And Kaylee's like, wait, come on, you're going to be good at this. You can play jacks. And then River picks up the ball and she just starts staring at it.
Here's the thing though, right? Like the episode opened with Kaylee talking about like, I don't know, man, River was just shooting all those people and she like treated it like a game and it's real dangerous. And she had that gun and someone came onto the ship that wanted her and he threatened me and everything, but it's all good now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just play games. I was like, no, like the problem of River still persists. It's not all honky dory.
I'm gonna be real. I thought when she was just kept staring at that ball, I thought it was like gonna explode or something, or like she was just gonna have there's gonna be the nosebleed or some
Yeah.
some kind of something was gonna happen, but nothing happens.
You thought you haven't even watched Stranger Things, but you thought she was gonna have the 11 nosebleed. I thought she was gonna throw the ball down with such force and just swipe up all the jacks,
Yeah.
and then like swipe up like all the bullets, and then just like catch it and be like, I went. I don't know. I thought something crazy was gonna happen there, or that
Yeah.
Kaylee would say, "You know what? I don't want to play anymore because you are strange and freaking me out."
Yeah, because Kaylee's like, I got 4 jacks last time I went. Let's see if you can top it. I thought the show was like going to bounce that ball and just get everything. But she just stares at it and then she throws it and we follow the ball as it bounces off the ground, but then it goes down through the ship, similarly to how we went through the ship earlier in the episode.
Yeah. And we see her grab like one of the jacks, not like sweep them all.
Yeah. And then the last scene of the episode is Early floating through space, and he just says, well, here I am. And that is how this series ends.
I did not expect Early to get the last line of the series. And I was trying to think of what he said earlier that this, well, here I am was like kind of calling back to. But I couldn't figure it out. I think it's something in this episode that he mentions because he says a lot of stuff. But
I mean, maybe it's like when he was on that rant about is a room if no one's around or in it and whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real. I did not really like this episode that much. They were on a heater. They were on a heater. Had a good streak of good episodes that I was really enjoying. But this one is just like, Early's just too all over the place.
This is a tricky one for us because we sometimes have issues with finales. Sometimes we like them more, sometimes we like them less, but we're not like as high on some of the finales of the series that we've been watching. This is a weird one because it's a finale in that there are no more episodes, but not a finale in that it's a real finale.
Yeah.
This is the intention that they had. They got canceled before they finished shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they wanted to leave off on, but I think you would end with. I just don't understand ending. Well, I guess I think this might be more metaphysical. I think this might be more metaphorical. Here I am. You know what I mean? It might be more metaphorical to being like, well, I'm in space again, and now I got to do a new show or something. Like it might be one of those things, but it's weird to have Early be the one saying it.
I feel like this couldn't have been the intended last episode of this. Like maybe they got canceled and they just stopped writing more episodes. They didn't film anymore or something. Because this is 14 episodes. And this is just such a weird
the first season of Buffy was still only like 12.
But it had a finale of she defeats the master.
Yeah.
Like this feels so open-ended and nothing. Like this doesn't feel like.
But here's my thing. While you're editing this episode, you know it's your last one.
Yeah.
So ending on this last shot is a choice.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. It has to be just like, yeah, this is how we all feel. Like we're shutting down the production. All of us are back to square one kind of thing. I'm just guessing because I was like, why would you not end on Mal sitting in the cockpit? Why not end with like a Simon and Mal thing that like you have at the beginning or a Nara Mal something? You know, why not end with your characters? Why end with Kaylee talking about, I guess, like this guy who was really hung when he was young or like really fit? I have no idea what she's talking about in that story. Yeah, me neither. And then like you end with River doing it and everyone's all happy and you got all this. They're so happy for nothing being resolved necessarily. And then, you just end with this guy that's a one-time character having the last line of the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or they don't even end with a wide shot of Serenity flying through space. You know what I mean? Like it's a choice to end with, well, here I am.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to hear a lot on Discord. A lot of Discord.
I'm sure there's some backstory to whatever is going on, but yeah.
I will say for this episode, it started out with her seeing visions and stuff, and I was like, boy, oh boy, this is going to be weird. And then they did her taking over the ship, and I was kind of on board with it. I didn't understand how it worked. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't know
I
where
was
her
on board
body.
with that.
I was like, I don't know where her body is. How did she physically become part of the ship? But I was willing to ride with it because that to me would have been an interesting end to the episode if like you see Wash and Mal in the cockpit and they're like, all right, Serenity, where are we going?
Yep.
That would have been like, all right, man, she's the ship. Now Mal has the tie to the ship. I don't know. The twist that she was in the other ship and somehow it's really easy to get in and out of a ship. Like and suited up and stuff is like, how does she get to his ship?
How does she talk to everybody individually through the intercom system and still be talking to Early?
Yeah. Like,
I'm assuming all that's going on at the same time.
But no, physically, how did she get to his ship?
No, I'm with you. How did she fucking do it?
How did he get on their ship? Did he just jump out? He just climbed out of his and dropped down, didn't he?
At what point did she get onto his ship too? Because he came in, knocked out Mal, and then went to Kaylee to tie her up. Did River know that was going down and like snuck out then, put on a spacesuit, snuck out?
Was she not locked in her room before that?
Oh yeah, because he locked everybody in their rooms.
No. He locked but I'm saying like she would have been outside of her room before. But didn't Mal lock her in her room before Early got on?
Yeah.
I don't know. I forget what he actually said. But
Simon wasn't locked in his room because he got out to check on River. Unless they share like a quarter.
Book was showering.
Yeah.
I think Early might have went to River and Simon's room. Their double-decker room that they have somehow.
Their duplex.
Yeah. This ship is amazing. A spare shuttle. Yeah. What did Anara do after she got hit in the face? Did she just sit in her shuttle and just wait?
She made some fucking tea. Started calling up some hot boys.
Hey, I'm thinking of getting off the ship.
Now would be as good a time as ever.
That the sound of Anara's shuttle leaving?
Oh man. What an episode.
Yeah, I mean, I was down for the middle. I could have been on board with Early if it wasn't for the Kaylee scene that went to 110. They went all the way up to 11 and then they would try to come back down. You take that out, and then I'm all in for him being weird and a psycho and all that stuff. But
yeah, I mean that set the standard.
Yeah,
and then the standard wasn't lived up to, and it was just like, oh, not that I want that to be in like the whole episode.
Yeah.
But like if you're fucking starting off this character with that crazy threat,
if he gets to that threat, if he elevates to that threat when he gets really pissed off, then it's something like if it was like okay,
backed into a corner or something.
I'm frustrated. Then I get to Anara and then I say that. I don't like it still, but it still makes more sense that you've been provoked to do that. When you see Kaylee in the engine room, you don't have to do that. Like she's not a threat.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that she was going to willingly just do it anyway because he was like, this is a good engine, huh?
It's like
she's like, oh, Jesus Christ, this guy knows how to get to me.
It's like they set it up just so he could say it to make Simon more upset because he uses it to try to convince Simon to help him and saying, if you don't help me, I'm going to go back to that girl. And it's like, man, like, I mean, it would be more potent for him to say that to Wash about Zoe as a, like, you know what I'm saying? And he would be gathering all of this information based off of eavesdropping for 1 minute. And I don't know what he heard in his eavesdropping that made him think that Kaylee and Simon had a relationship because they were at odds at the table, right?
Yeah.
So it was nothing there that he was like, oh, he really likes her. Maybe I'll go to her first. You know what you do? You just wait till this. And he was on a time crunch too, he said, which was really interesting because I don't know why he's on a time crunch.
Well, he also, I mean, I'm guessing he did some research after he found out that River was on this ship. Yeah, he's a bounty hunter. He's probably got like some kind of weird contacts that know who's on the ship and what their relationships to each other are. I mean, he knew that Book wasn't a shepherd based off of just kicking him in the face.
But no one else seems to know that he's not a shepherd when they see him.
Yeah. He just looks down at him. Like his only interaction with Book is launching double fucking drop kicking him in the face. And he's like, oh, that guy, I can tell he's not a shepherd based on how he fell. Like what? Like what?
Because even those guys that were like Alliance people 2 episodes ago and The Message, they came on the ship and Book walked up to them and just was like, I'm a shepherd. And they're like, we don't normally shoot shepherd. Don't think I'm afraid to shoot a shepherd. And they were just like, they thought he was. Everyone thinks he is. Even the people on the ship think he is, even though he pulled out a identification card that says that he's more than what he seems.
Yep.
Insane they never asked.
And he knows all kinds of like information about certain guns that have been used. And in the Message too, he was like, oh, how come the Alliance isn't contact? There's an Alliance thing point here that they haven't called for backup. It's like, that's another day though. That's a story for another day.
You know when River was blindly shooting people? You guys want to talk about when the shepherd was taking out kneecaps with surgical precision? You guys want to talk about that guy? I'm pretty good with a hammer, and you're pretty good with a cannon too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll never get answers to that unless it's in the movie.
Yeah, which we will be doing next week.
Mm-hmm.
But that is a wrap for Objects in Space. Yeah, we're doing Serenity next week. You've already seen it, so you know a little bit of stuff that happens in it, I guess.
I mean, I know very little. Like, I just know a couple people that are in it, and that's about it.
Enough to do predictions, or are you going to bow out of predictions?
Oh, I have no prediction. I don't know enough. I don't know enough that it would shade my predictions, but I don't have a prediction for what's going to happen.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought. I was like, if the movie's named Serenity, it would make sense that River became the ship.
I've seen the poster of Serenity, and I've seen the movie, so I know that she's not.
I've seen the poster too.
Yeah. She's like doing a weird split or something, like a one-legged squat
was
down.
Serenity in theaters, or was it like a...
I think it was theaters. Okay. I think it was a theater release, yeah.
I guess we'll find out next week.
Yeah.
But anyway, that is a wrap, everybody, for Objects in Space. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for enjoying. Hop on Discord. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Are we off the mark here with this Early guy? Is he just too much, or do people like Early?
I'm like torn. I kind of want to like his character, but they sent me down a path that was like confusing.
I've drawn my line. I don't like Early. I thought it was too much. So yeah, hop on Discord. Let us know. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/boyswatchingbuffy, where we're doing our series recap of Angel. And next week for Angel too, we're doing a Q&A thing. So we need a bunch of questions about Angel. If you got questions about Angel. Yeah,
send them in. You can email us. You can email us at boyswatchingbuffy@gmail.com. You can hop on Discord. You can find us on the Instagram, on TikTok at boyswatchingbuffy.
Yep, so, send in those questions. We will be answering all of those. Stay on the lookout for Dr. Horrible Sing-Along blog. That should be out in a few weeks. It'll be out before the end of January.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got shit going on. Yeah. There's fires.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have that out before the end of
hopefully we'll have that out. Hopefully there won't be more fires.
Yeah. There's more winds coming. I have a piece of cardboard over top of it's taped. A little bit worried about that. Anyway, and that is a wrap. Stay tuned next time. Oh, if you want to get a shout out, Apple Podcast 5-star rating, review, Spotify 5-star rating, take a screenshot of it, send it into us. Stay tuned next time for when we talk about the movie Serenity.
Folks are all insane.
Well, my sister's a ship. We had a complicated childhood.
Seltzer Kings.
Podcasts.